Hello and welcome back to West Brom Fan TV. With the Championship season just a matter of weeks away, it's time to look at one player who I would nab from every single Championship club. Starting off with Birmingham City, who had a fantastic season last year, breaking so many records, didn't they? They were fantastic, weren't they, last season? Really did annihilate League One, and they got some fantastic players. Tough to pick, really, but those ones stand out rock at the back for me, and that was Clara. Struggling with that one. Yeah, absolute rock of a centre back. Just had the league on lockdown, really. Nothing was going through that Blues back line, and he's someone who's already a top tier Championship player, even coming up from League One. Someone who is going to be a real key player this season for Blues in the Championship. Up next, Blackburn Rovers, a player that always catches my eye, short and nippy, Tyrese Dolan. What a player he is. Proper little magician on the wing. I think his contract's running quite low as well, so I'm sure he'd be a bit cheap to pick up at this moment in time. Always impressed me, and I've always wondered why teams weren't after him and there weren't that much hype. Maybe it's because his figures aren't the best, but the guy's creative, he's quality. Up next, Bristol City is Rob Dickie. I think he's an absolutely solid player. One of the reasons why they got playoffs last season, he's a rock at the back. There's nothing past him. A real leader as well of that team, someone who takes responsibility and bashes heads together when things aren't going right. Someone I've always highly rated. Charlton, Tyrese Campbell, young, exciting player for them. Dragged them up through the playoffs with his ability. Quality, genuine quality, and a lot of potential. Next, Coventry City. Now is a tough one. I did watch a fair bit of Coventry last season, being from the area or near the area, so I do know a fair bit about the Sky Blues. There's two that stand out for me. I can only pick one. Those two are Jack Redoney and Mason Clark, but it's got to be Jack Redoney for me. I mean, there's a reason Everton are sniffing around that bloke. He's quality, he scores goals, he's great in the midfield, he's creative. He just always pops up with a header as well. He loves a headed goal. Just a real top quality player, and I mean, it's shown. The proof was in the pudding as they did reach the playoffs. Up next, Derby County. I couldn't really think of one. We kind of have nabbed their main man from last season at the back already with the announcement of Nat Phillips being signed yesterday. But if I was going to bring someone from Derby, don't get me wrong, I haven't got a plethora of knowledge on the Rams, but it would be nice to see Kane Wilson back in an Albion shirt, I guess. He'd come up through the Albion Academy. He's been solid in that right back position for them. Yeah, I'm really clutching at straws. Derby aren't even a bad side as well. There's just not too many individuals that stand out. They're more of a team type one, not just one individual that drags them through. They're a team ethic, team bonding that drags them forward. Next is Hull, another team that I struggled with. They struggled themselves last season. The only one that I could really think of was Abu Kamara, maybe, young striker. I saw him pop up with a couple of goals here and there, I guess. Still got plenty of time to grow. Sorry, Hull, weren't really much else. Speaking of Hull, the next team we're looking at is Ipswich Town. Who would I nab from them? An ex-Hull man in Greaves, solid centre-back. Arguably Premier League quality with Dara. I think they're both of them centre-backs. Obviously, Dara used to be a former West Brom man. He was class with us. As well as the goalkeeper, Alex Palmer. He's quality. Obviously, got to pick one. It would be Greaves. Just a real leader, to be fair. Still pretty young as well. Yeah, he's always done well in the Championship and proved that he can be decent in the Prem. I'd say lower mid-table player in the Prem, so 100% he's there for me. Next is Leicester City, another relegated side. Now, Leicester are going to be hit with a massive points deduction. Obviously, that's nothing to do with this video. But if there was one player who I would pick out from the Foxes, would be El Khanous. Thought it was quite impressive, pretty creative. Seemed to be one of their only bright sparks from last season. I would have potentially said Buonanotte, but obviously he's a loan. He's going back to Brighton, I'm pretty sure. But Alcanos, whenever he came on the pitch, he had a little bit of magic. He actually tried a risk every now and then, whereas a lot of those Leicester players didn't. They were just more than willing to, face the onslaught and hope for the best and then concede eventually and lose. But yeah, Alcanos was a bright spark in that. Next, Middlesbrough. Aidan Hackney. What a player he is. Quality individual. Great midfielder. Young, exciting, and mature for his age as well. For how young he is, he definitely doesn't look out of place. He looks full of experience as well. He just looks like an experienced midfielder at such a young age, and he's definitely going to get a Prem move at some point if he don't get promoted with the Teesside outfit. Next is Millwall. Now, there was one man banging in the goals last season, and it was Ivanovic. Every time you look on blinking Soccer Saturday or whatever you're watching, Final Score, that name always pops up. Young, strong attacker, he bullies defenders. Very much fits Millwall to a T, being, I'm trying to think of the word. A Rambo just ain't a bloody word. Just a big, strong striker. Another one that I will give an honourable mention is Cooper. I've always liked Cooper at Millwall. He's about 6'9", or however blinking tall he is. He's a giant. But it brings back memories from the Tony Pulis days. Ideal for a set piece he would be. Next is Norwich City. Now, like I said, this was there's two that you could go for. Borja signs, but I do think he fell off at the end of last season. But there's one man that bounced back from an injury and fired in goals for Norwich, lots of goals, and that is USA international Josh Sargent. I mean, it's a pretty easy one. He scores goals for fun. He's quite lean. He's around 6'2", I think 6'1", 6'2", so relatively tall. I'd say he's more athletic as well, an athletic striker that just knows where the back of the net is. Give him the ball, wherever he is, he'll bury it. Some player. I'm sure there'll be a few teams that will be sniffing around him in this window. Next up, Oxford. Now, there was a player at the start of the season, I think Mark Harris obviously would, on the eye, be the one you'd go for, but that form did end pretty quickly. So Brannigan, he's decent in the midfield. Like I said, another team that I don't know necessarily loads about, Oxford, but whenever I have watched them, Brannigan usually comes up with an important goal. An experienced head, something that would definitely be useful in a team. Up next, Portsmouth. Now, obviously, there's two that you could potentially go for this one. I think Portsmouth obviously came on a lot at the end of the season after a poor start. Colby Bishop is one that comes to mind. Not the one I'm going for. I'm going for Josh Murphy. He was quality, I thought, really good. Obviously making that step up from League One as well after getting promoted with Oxford. Making the move to Portsmouth, which might have shocked a few people. Potentially that was for, I guess, a bit more money, because both teams did end up finishing in a similar area of the table. But yeah, he impressed me. He was creative. He got a fair whack of assists. He looked very comfortable, solid winger, and yeah, it's crazy. The Murphy brothers, they are stepping on at this moment in time with his brother Jacob banging them in for the Toon, Newcastle. Up next is Preston North End. Well, another team that I'd have struggled with. Obviously, Ismaich is a force and a handful, but would I really want him at my club? Not too sure, to be fair. There's one that's always been reliable. I'm not sure if he has played that much lately, to be fair. Like I said, I don't watch loads of Preston. They're one of the boringer teams in the league last season. No offence, Preston fans. You did draw a lot of games just like we did. But Freddie Woodman has always struck me as a top quality keeper who I've admired. So why not just chuck him into the mix, I guess. Next is QPR, and I guess Elias Chair. I mean, he's got a little bit of an attitude problem from what I've heard in the past. Obviously, all the things he's done in the past aren't really the great for your reputation as a club. Stuff that he did back home, I'm pretty certain, which I'm not going to touch on here. This is not a legal YouTube channel. We want to focus on the player. Yeah, he's creative, he's exciting, gives me a little bit of Adel Taarabt vibes. Maybe that's just because they're both Moroccan. But, the dude knows how to move his feet. He's exciting, he's got flair about him. And with the right manager, he could go from an alright player to, I think, a top quality player. So he could make a big step up, but we will see. Next up, Sheffield United. Now, this is a no-brainer for me. I mentioned in the past being from near Coventry, from the Nuneaton, so not just down the road from Coventry Stadium, only 4 miles. And I did watch this player quite a bit. Whenever Albion would play on a Tuesday, I'd go and watch that, and then the Wednesday Coventry have a game, I'd go and see what was going on down there. And the man who always stood out whenever I went there, and still is standing out to this day, is Gustavo Hamer. Now, for some reason, this man just screams Fulham. I could see him doing a job at Fulham. Mid-table Prem, ambitious club that are seeming to be on the up. That seems him all over. He always stands out. He's good at free kicks. He's just a top quality player. Like I said, the one thing might be a problem, same with maybe discipline, but under the right manager, he could thrive. Because he's a good player. Very, very good player. Arguably the best in the league. And yes, I've just stuck my neck on the line and said that. Anyways, off to the other side of Sheffield. Sheffield Wednesday. Sorry about that. Helicopter going above. I'd say Barry Bannon for Sheffield Wednesday. I know he's old, but the bloke still got it. He's still got some tricks in his old bag. Still a proper technician, I'd say. You can play off him so easily. He's always impressed me, to be fair, Barry Bannon. He's been so loyal to Sheffield Wednesday as well. I think the bloke's going to be there forever. Most likely will be, as he's 35. Yeah, he's still got it in them old legs. He's still got it in the Championship. Still, I'd say, arguably a top 8 player. Up next, Southampton. Tyler Dibbling, young, exciting. I mean, there weren't a lot to shout about for Southampton last season. They were pretty bleak at St Mary's, but he definitely stood out, and that's why you got likes of Blinky Man City sniffing around the bloke. Even though they finished on barely any points, he sure made his mark and showed a lot of talent at such a young age, so I'm going to chuck him in there. Next, Stoke City, a team that have been spiralling downwards lately, I can't lie. Seems like they're always flirting with relegation at the minute, whereas they used to be a mid-table Prem side like the Albion. But the man who stands out for me there is Johansson, the goalkeeper. I think they would have probably went down last season if it weren't for him. The bloke's an absolute cat. He saves everything. Make yourself big, they say. Mate, he's huge. He fills the goal and just saves everything. He's nuts. Genuinely nuts. Could get in any team. Could get in a Prem side easily. Next, Swansea, a team that I haven't watched too much of, so don't give me too much criticism for this, but I said Franco. Swans are raving about him at the minute. I barely watched any highlights from the end of the season, which is where he's kicked on. But from what the Swans are saying, he's some player. I think he's pretty young as well, so yeah. Watford, Chak Fatadze. I think there's only one man really for them who stands out for me. He's quality. Just whenever you watch him play, he just rips a team to shreds, especially at home. The guy's so creative and good on the ball. Love to have him at the Albion. He's a top quality player. I think he's gone under the radar quite a bit as well. What is it with Georgian wingers, eh? You've got Kvaratskhelia, and now we've got Chak Fatadze, 2 quality wingers. Obviously, Kvaratskhelia playing at PSG. It's a bit different to playing at Watford, but you get what I'm saying. Now, finally, to end it all off, is a team that, considering there's so much hype around them, I did struggle to find players that I would immediately scream, I want to sign. Saying that they are the type of team that, similar to what I was saying with Derby County, how they play, it's not based on individuals, it's based on like team ethic. There's not one man dragging them forward, it's just a team ethic type of thing. But that player I was going to mention, is Okonkwo. Goalkeeper, young, seems to be doing pretty decent there. And yeah, why not acquire a young, talented goalkeeper? What isn't there to like about that? Anyways, I'm just going to check that I got every team. And yeah, that's it. Obviously, if I was going to talk about West Brom, a player that I'd sign if I was any of those other clubs, I would say Tom Fellows as well, because he's an absolute baller. He's young, he's exciting, and that's why he got the most assists in the league last season, or joint most assists. Absolute top quality, young, talented player. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed it. The weather has seemed to go on more gloomy, and windy since I've been recording, so I'm going to get myself inside and make sure I don't get drenched. But yeah, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and up the Albion, come on you baggies.